We are back at it again here with another video, and here we have the SPY, the S&P 500 index, pushing up higher towards the resistance we talked about yesterday of 412, went beyond that to 413 in the pre-market, and then things started to pull downwards. Now, within that pull down, we had our SPY bot within the volatility sent out a bear indicator at 9:10 a.m., and from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision into the bell and after the bell, and put options went up 200% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. So here we are with the SPY fighting to hold above 410 and found support at the key levels of support that we talked about in yesterday's video of 408 and bounced right back up, not going any lower. Now, we need to talk about what's going on here with the 42 vision indicators, the inflow versus outflow and bull and bear indicators. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. So the home run of the day was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run of the day was from our Netflix bot. Our Netflix bot sent out a bear indicator at 9:45 a.m. And from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision, and put options went up 150% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump into these charts. So here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index. The SPY stock doing a full transition from red bars in yesterday's after hours to bright green bars in today's pre-market, and then a full transition back down towards red bars. Now, within this volatility, you could see the shifts that have happened, and this is 42 vision. For those of you coming across the channel for the first time, it allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY stock under a bear indicator after yesterday's bull indicator here at around 410. Things did sit sideways and it broke through that resistance of 411, and things did hit highs up here of 413 in the pre-market, but at the bell, things started to look weak. They had these outflows cross over the midpoint and things continue lower, and a bear indicator has popped up here at around 410.79 on the 30-minute chart. It found support at 408 within the volatility, and so far it's been stuck in this range between 408 and 411 area, rejected 3 times at the 411.50 area, which is where rejections happen here in the first half of the day before the pull down. And here we are, quickly coming right back down under this bear indicator, and outflows have dominated over the chart. And yes, in the second half of the day so far, we've had some inflows try to pick up, but it's still below the midpoint here as you see it, even though it's green, right? At minus 1.89 of outflows, and things quickly have rejected here at this resistance 3 times, guys. It tried here 3 times to break above 411.50 area, and it's falling right back down near the lows, and this bear indicator never got canceled, and inflows never crossed back up. And within the volatility, if we zoom in and look at this from the 15-minute, we could see here that a bull indicator popped up at 410.78, and the highest point that it reached was 411.50. And in the zoomed in area here, it was about 4 times that it rejected. Inflows did cross over. They are slightly above still, but with this big pullback, if this bull indicator gets canceled by another bear indicator, and there it is in the live video popping up, this bar needs to close and confirm though. It has still 11 more minutes to go. You could see how it actually removed. Once it closes and confirms, if that bear indicator stays and these outflows begin, that's quickly going to start to reflect into the charts, and this support level of the day at around 408.23 to be exact, which I would just round down to 408. If it gets broken through, we could quickly start to see weakness over the chart, and the next support below that I've been watching and I talked about in yesterday's video is 405, right? But let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here in the bigger picture, because the 1 hour in the volatility has been all this time, even though things went up and they came back down, they went up and now they're down, it has been below the midpoint, guys. Outflows have dominated all day today since the pre-market. They had crossed over, and this right here was adding that confirmation that within this volatility, every single time there was multiple bearish confirmations, it came back to the fact that in the bigger picture, these outflows have dominated and been below the midpoint since the pre-market, within all these moves, having weight over the chart and hitting a maximum outflow so far of negative 2.11, even though no bear indicator has popped up. If these outflows continue below the midpoint and they continue to break through support levels, we may see this bull indicator get canceled by a possible bear indicator, signifying even possible further weakness. Okay, so the 1 hour has been very volatile. The overall chart has been too, but these outflows have justified the reason why every time it tries to come back up, it continues to go down lower, and with the 30-minute below the midpoint as well, adding even further weakness and a bear indicator to confirm the weakness of why these pullbacks are currently happening, and we're testing key support levels here in the charts. Now I'm going to break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow, and the first key levels are the support levels, right? They're critical and crucial. When we zoom out, we talked about it in yesterday's video, the 4 hour, how it had these inflows above the midpoint within yesterday's volatility. It looked like that was having weight over the chart, and it did, right? Things actually pulled upwards once the CPI data was out, hit 413 at those highs, and then things started to pull downwards. Now, outflows have not began here, and this is something to watch, and I would not ignore here on the inflow versus outflow. It's been under a bull indicator here since 397, and inflows have been pretty strong. They got a little weak here around this area, and things crossed right back up here yesterday in the pre-market and going into today, right? We're at highs here of inflows of 4.45 on the 4 hour chart, and it's something to not ignore. Even though this big pullback to 408 has happened, if it can find support above 408 or even close to it, 407, 405 area, and bounce right back up, and these inflows continue above the midpoint, again, it is something to not overlook, especially if they stay green on the 4 hour, because that can have some weight in the bigger picture like it did yesterday, right? Things were kind of sitting sideways here at 409. It continued higher today, and we hit highs here of 413. Now, if these inflows start to turn from green to red and pull downwards towards the midpoint, that is something to watch, because now it's following within the volatility of the lower time frames. Now, back to the 1 hour here. When we look at it, we could see the outflows dominated all day, and the support here so far has been 408, and it's reaching close to it there at the lows of 408.50, and currently within the volatility zoomed in, it is trying to bounce back up, right? After doing a full transition here from the rip area to the dip area on the 5 minute, you could see there the next bar popping up, trying to switch back up from white with red borders to white with green borders. There it goes again within the volatility, white with red borders. But if it shifts over to white with green borders, it means that it's trying to diverge back up. And you can see that the outflows are no longer steep. They're trying to actually slow down. So here we are where it's trying to go ahead and probably double bottom if this turns into support. If it does not, it could crush right through it. And we need to talk about the next support levels below that, which first comes 405, as I've stated in the previous parts of this video, right? And in yesterday's video, I talked about that as well. Now, on the 30-minute, we could see here the double bottom effect that I'm talking about. If it could hold support, these inflows would need to continue going higher. That's the first thing I would watch, for it to continue green and go towards the midpoint. And if it could cross it, even better, because then that strength could start to reflect pretty quickly into the charts. And you could see that this bear indicator popped up around 410.82 to be exact. And that is something that needs to get canceled with a bull indicator in the process. Now, when we go ahead and zoom in and look at this on the 15-minute, it's going to be crucial and critical for this bear indicator to get canceled. You could see that it confirmed earlier in the video. It had not confirmed yet. It was within the volatility. It's confirmed. The outflows have crossed, and it's going to be crucial for these inflows to slow down this outflow and bring it back up and go from red to green. Get that bull indicator in the process and start reflecting that strength into the charts and retest the multiple rejections here of 411.50. Break through it, go towards 412, and then above that comes the high of day of 413. But most importantly, the next resistance above 412 would be 415. That is crucial. That is critical. I've talked about that in previous videos based off the history of the chart. And the support level below 408 is 405. But if 405 gets broken through and these outflows continue below the midpoint and the 4 hour starts to pull downwards, as I stated earlier in the video here, that's going to be crucial if it starts turning from green to red and down towards the midpoint. Well, below 405 then comes 403 area. And then based off the history of the chart, the next support level below that would be 400, guys. That's going to be crucial. That's going to be critical based off the history of the chart. And right now, the bears are trying to reappear and take over this chart, even though the bulls are trying to put up a fight, right? If we zoom in and look at this on the 3-minute, right, you could see here it's trying to level off. These inflows are trying to pick up in the live action, going from down here to 408.50. So far, the highs here are 409.29, but still a lot lower than where things started to pull downwards, right? And coming back down near the lows of the day. And now the question is, will this bear indicator have weight over the chart and continue lower, or will the bulls try to put up a fight here and double bottom effect here to go right back up to test those resistance levels, cancel out this bear indicator, get a bull indicator in the process, but most importantly, get these inflows back up. And if they can cross the midpoint, the quicker and stronger the possible moves could be based off the history of the chart when these inflows cross over, right? When inflows cross over, like yesterday, it went from 410 up to 411. And today, the inflow crossed over in the pre-market and it went from 410 to 413. Now, it's not always guaranteed to make the same exact moves, but something to not ignore and miss and overlook within the chart's volatility. So these are the key levels I'm watching to the upside and to the downside. I'm going to watch the bull and bear indicators very carefully, as well as the inflow versus outflow. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.